Hello, it's Marcus and Steve here today, and as you can see, neither of us are in our chef's whites today because we're at my house doing a little bit of work. And the reason we're doing that today is because a lot of you have come back to us following an email that we actually sent out with what are the biggest challenges that you're facing at the moment. And there are three main challenges, and we're going to spend a few minutes with you now just talking about what they are. I'm sure they won't come as a surprise to any of you, and we're going to give you a few tips as to what you can do about that. What were they then, Steve?
Well, the three main things were costs, turnover, customer experience.
Right, so I'm sure you're all going, yeah, that applies to my business, and we'll give you a few pointers later on of where you can actually just put any comments or any opinions that you might have. But yeah, turnover, not enough businesses making enough turnover, and what does that come down to? Well, fundamentally it comes down to you not getting enough customers in the door. We'll talk about that in a minute. Secondly, about costs, gas going up, food prices going up, lots of things going up, which you need to try and reduce. And the third thing is, and we had lots and lots of feedback on this one, is how do you give and maintain giving a customer a 5-star experience, a wow experience, so they get that great feeling when they come to you and they'll come back time and time again. You've got a few ideas, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough out there. It really is tough out there. With the costs, it's the costs, like Marcus said, the food's going up, gas, electricity. If you've got a family to run, then minor business is really quite it's quite hard. So with costs, it's a matter of controlling them. How do you control your costs? How do you make sure they're not running away? There are some costs you have to keep in place, obviously negotiating with gas, electricity, or your amenities. They're the tough ones to be trying to bring down.
You can't really do a lot about that, really, can you?
Not a lot. There are some costs, however, which you can take control of. And it's important to realise that if you have a manager in place or a chef, that they understand about things like portion control. If your costs are running away, are your portions being managed properly? Does your chef understand about how to butcher meat, getting larger cuts of meat in to butcher them down to smaller sizes? You know, later on we can talk about pounds per kilo and individual portion prices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So is it a matter of negotiating with suppliers? Fruit, veg, don't take second quality. Don't forget, a friend of mine some time back, cauliflower in London, I don't know if I've gone through this, he got a rank piece of cauliflower. It was simple. He took the supplier, not by the neck thankfully, he says, we're in London, I've got a cauliflower, it cost me exactly the same amount as getting a Savoy down the road there and a Dorchester. I want the best cauliflower. I want Savoy's cauliflower, let them have that rubbish. And it's as simple as that. You pay the same amount, you deserve the same amount of quality. Control them. You get a rank piece of cauliflower in, you're throwing half of it away. What you throw away is money, basically. So it's a matter of controlling the costs all the way through your business. Cleaning materials, train the staff on how to use training. So many things you have to do, Marcus, to get involved, get on that front line and learn about costs. And that's only on costs alone, with just the tip of the iceberg. So you can imagine what you can do with so much behind you. If you've just got to get behind your team, analyse your costs, have a look at them.
So that's an area, isn't it? A lot of people also talked about turnover and how to get turnover up, and that's really all about getting more customers in the door. And what's quite funny is we're making this video for all of you. We've got this week's hotel and caterer, or caterer and hotel keeper. I always get that back to front. I've done for years. And what's quite interesting in there is it talks about now that people are going out less to eat, but get this, you'll love this bit, they're actually spending more money when they go out to eat. And that, in my opinion, is opportunity knocks. Because what that means is if you get the customer experience right, which a lot of you told us is the problem, or one of the problem areas, or how do you get better at it, you can actually get people to spend more money. And here's another great benefit for you as well, is you won't have anywhere near as much competition, because it's about getting your game up. So talking about 5-star experience, one of the things that also is in this week's magazine is the fact that the #1 important thing is food quality. What about that?
Absolutely, yeah. They come down to food quality, price, cleanliness, Cleanliness was number 3 on the list. Mark has harps on about cleanliness as so many places, but it's important. You wouldn't invite people around to your house for dinner if it was dirty. But food quality was number 1 on the list, and people would spend an extra £3 per head on their meal, and that was the figures shown by the catering magazine, the Catering Hotel Keeper, which is the right way round, by the way. Okay. So the caterer's always first.
Good lad.
I just thought I'd let you know that.
That's good.
Okay, but that's like, so what we've got to understand is, thinking about a bigger picture, where did that £3 come from? So people are eating out less, but actually spending more when they go out. So what we need to talk about is, how can we get them to eat more frequently? What's the secret about getting to your restaurant, eating more frequently? And that's number 1 on the list, and I know you guys want to be number 1 on the list with your competitors. Don't you think that's correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So it fundamentally is about how do you give somebody a 5-star experience, and some great bits and pieces in this. So if you haven't got it, go and get yourself this week's Catering Hotel Keeper, which is 8th of February. And have a little look at that. Steve talked a lot about costs and cutting costs. There's all sorts of things you can do on that. But fundamentally, to increase turnover and to be able to give somebody a 5-star experience, you've got to get them in your door first. And that's the most important thing. And we'll share some tips that you can help you with that over the next week or two. What we'd also like you to do is, on this page, you'll be able to put any comments in, leave any comments in here. So put in anything that you find is useful for you, for the rest of the forum of food owners that tap into this resource, and put anything in there that you also might find is a struggle to you, or anything you actually want help with. Because one of the things that Steve and I are going to do over the next weeks and months, when we run any of our marketing mastery workshops, the one-day workshops we run, and the classes that we run, the online classes, is actually address those issues and give you some really useful information to actually address and change that within your business. So 1, you can be more up to date on costs. 2, you can get more people in the door, which means you're going to get high turnover. And 3, you're actually going to be able to give and have the knowledge to give those people a 5-star experience. We'll look forward to seeing you again.